Hello, and welcome to another edition of Convict Inc. I'm your host, Robert Rosso. My wife hates this hat. If you like this video, please push like, share with your family, friends, neighbors, enemies, etc. Did I say that right? If you don't, still push like. Institutionalized. We've all heard the word. I was going to say the phrase, the word. But what does it really mean? You'll hear guys in prison talking about, when I get out, I don't know if I'm going to be still institutionalized, or man, I'm so institutionalized, or blah, blah, blah. Or fuck, I'm not institutionalized, whatever. To be totally honest, during my previous incarcerations, which weren't that long, months, a year and a half, whatever, I got out and there was no issues that I was aware of. Likewise, when I got out after doing 23 years, 8 months and a day, on this case, that is April the 13th, 2021, it felt like I never left. There was a part of me that felt like I never left the streets. Of course, there was a bunch of new stuff. Things were built up. The town that I got out and lived in actually degressed a lot, deteriorated, I should say. So things did change. People change. When I see people, it's like, wow, they got old, but then I got to remember I got old. But in general, there was a feeling like I never was in prison. And it was really strange. I had one of my friends who picked me up. When he got out after only doing 2 years, he was tripping on driving in the freeway. Like the car thing was weird. Driving over a bridge, I believe he said, was weird. It was like I was in a car yesterday and I got picked up. He had a Corvette and I had Corvettes when I got busted. So it was like I never left. For 6 months, I did really, really well. And things started happening. People that watch my channel know I'm not going to get into the whole family thing, but family issues and dad's death and so forth. And I started to experience anxiety attacks, going into stores, being overwhelmed in stores. I'm not going to say that's institutionalized per se. But all of a sudden I started realizing like how little of society I know as a civilian, as a legal person, especially as a legal person, and somebody in a relationship with a wonderful girl. Anyway, on a live, I mentioned what I'm about to tell you. This is where the story's going. And this is what happened to me. It's been about a month, 3 weeks, a month ago. For reasons of probation, I have been ordered to go to a drug counseling group and mental health as part of the addiction makeup, mental health too. I was evaluated by a psychiatrist, first time they did a makeup, and at the end of the diagnosis, basically kind of ADD-ish, and addiction. I'm an addict. That's what she summarized. We talked about different medications. The ones like the Zoloft and all that stuff, that category didn't fit me, she said, and I agreed, and I didn't want to be on a daily medication. Xanax, of course, that's a narcotic, so if I have an anxiety attacks, you got to find something in that family that's non-narcotic. And then she suggested Suboxone. The reason is because she felt that my addiction, just in general, what's going on in my life, it could progress, and opiates being the drug of choice, that would be kind of like nip it at the bud. For those of you that don't know what Suboxone is, it's kind of like methadone was. It's a synthetic opiate with opiate blocker in it. If you misuse it, you can get high. I misused it for years in federal prison. So I didn't trust myself, didn't want it. Plus, I just didn't want to be on the whole opiate thing again. I did get what they call Bruce bars. I guess that's the nickname. I don't know the exact name. When we talked about what pharmacy I was going to go to, I actually go to 3 pharmacies. It's kind of urology goes to 1 pharmacy. Anyway, it's a mess. The psychiatrist told me that they had one in-house at the place I'm going. And she walked me through the building, big building, went into the pharmacy, sat down, 4 or 5 people that looked like they really needed meds. I felt very normal when I was in there. And I walked up to the desk and lady, you know, do you have your insurance card? Yes. Do you have your ID? And I said, oh, it's in my truck. And she says, well, I'm going to need it. I said, okay. And I sat back down for 20 minutes. During that time, the door was opening. People were coming in and out. People were coming in, asking for their prescriptions and walking out with them. And I was sitting. I was supposed to be going to get my ID. The reason I was sitting was because I was waiting for staff to come open the door. I don't know where my mind went. I've been out 18 months at that time. I thought I was incarcerated and I was waiting for staff. Usually in prison, there's movements at the top of the hour or bottom of the hour, whatever. And I was waiting for staff to come open the door after being out 18 months. And I'm going to tell you, it really messed me up. It really, really messed me up. And it like hurt, you know. I was like, oh my God, how did that happen? Now, I look back, there was a sign that said staff on the door. Maybe that was something that triggered. But that's being institutionalized, I guess you could say. And it was a trip. I don't know what else. I haven't caught other things right now that I know of, or that I'm aware of, I should say. Of course, relationships, being in prison. I should do a whole different video about that. Well, actually I need to kill some time because I haven't been on that long. So relationships, what happens in prison with relationships is, and this is for people who do a long stretches of time, not people who just do a couple years, although it could affect people that do a couple of years. A couple of years is a long time too. But I'm talking about people that have been in 10 years or more. In the federal system, they consider anything under Fed county jail time, which is bullshit, but that's kind of the thing. Oh, you got 10 or less, you're sweet, you're doing good. You're gonna do 8.5, that's good. No, that's a long time. Anyway, but if you're doing a long stretch of time, you meet a lot of people, you get close with a lot of people, and they leave. They go to new prisons, they get in fights, go to the hole, and you never see them again, or they go home. And there you stay. So what happens to me, and I know other guys too, is you start pushing away. So if you know somebody's going to leave tomorrow, for example, you want to say your goodbyes today and not really hang out with them the whole day tomorrow. I'm not saying I never have. There's a guy named Jeff Welker. I hung out with him. He was supposed to go home at 8 o'clock in the morning. They didn't release him until 12, and I stayed with him the whole time. And me and him had a daily routine together for almost over a year and a half. So when you have a routine with somebody, you miss them. And on the street, so it's easy just to push people out, you know? So I guess that's one of the other things as far as being institutionalized. Big stores, I can be fine one day and then the next, lose it a little bit, you know? And rapid heart beating. I thought it was an anxiety attack, maybe panic attack. Haven't really figured out what triggers it yet. Doesn't happen all the time. It hasn't happened much in the last, I think 3 weeks ago or something. It was mild. But of course, incarceration, of course, it has to have affected me in many ways I don't even realize at this time. But I wanted to share the story. Mainly, I did this video. It was about the story of me waiting for staff to open up the door when all I had to do is open up the door, walk outside, get my ID, come back and give it to the lady so she could fill my prescription. And yeah, like I said, when I say it hurt, and I said it on a live, every time I talk about this, I said it hurt. It hurt. Yeah, it was kind of scary, surreal. You know, that's when you felt institutionalized. That's when I felt it. Anyway, tomorrow's Thanksgiving. This video has gone up late. I just said the other day I was going to do schedule 5 o'clock, whatever. You know, I'm going to unforeseen circumstances again, and I've worked till 8 down in Hartford, and then I took a jacuzzi bath, and then there's no Wi-Fi to upload. So this is going to be uploaded after 10 o'clock at night. Anyway, hope everybody has a happy Thanksgiving. Remember to tell those you love that you love them. Peace out.